This is how Jin Ping Mei is read. Chapter 39, Embroidery Version. Send a famous Dharma official to wear Taoist robes. Send birthday gifts. And pay homage to enemies. Word version. A ritual ceremony at Simon Xingyuang Temple. Wu Yunyang listens to a nun's sermon 1. The 9th day of the first lunar month. This time we mainly talk about the 9th day of the first lunar month. From the morning of that day, on the 9th day of the lunar month, Simon King didn't even go to the Yamen. He had already gone out of the East Gate to go to the Jade Emperor Temple, riding a big white horse with his servants following him. That night, 2 candles were lit on the table. Wu Yunyang asked Xiao Yu, "How late is it today?" Xiao Yu said, "It's the 4th watch and the cock crows." The former is about Simon King leading everyone to the Jade Emperor Temple in the morning to send names to the official brother for a ritual ceremony. And the latter is about Wu Yunyang leading the concubines at home to listen to nuns preaching Buddhist scriptures in the evening. This corresponds to the 2 sentences in the Chiwaban. One is to worship Taoism and the other is to worship Buddha. We can also understand that the former is Simon King's official brother, and the latter is Wu Yunyang's filial brother, because Wu Yunyang has always been. He asked the 5th patriarch about his reincarnation. And next time he used the help of nuns to find medicine to have a child. It can be said that the 2 parts form a subtle contrast, which is wonderful. So, why did the title of the embroidered portrait need to be changed? The portrait book puts a seemingly ordinary and trivial matter, Chen Jingqi's visit to his friend, into the title, replacing the theme of the sutra exposition, and completely ignoring Brother Xiao. Why is this? The reason is that the 9th day of the first lunar month is a special day. It is not only the birthday of the Jade Emperor, but also the birthday of the protagonist Pan Jinlian. We can still use the double-line structure to explain the intention of the embroidery book. The first half shows Simon King praying and blessing his descendants and career, even staying up all night and missing Pan Jinlian's birthday. The second half shows Pan Jinlian suffering from the neglect at home. It's hard to believe that, being both jealous of Li Ping'er's child and annoyed by Wu Yunyang's good Buddha, it is inevitable to cause trouble again. Since the 33rd episode of Pan Chen's public obscenity, they began to officially meet each other as enemies. Although the enemy met for a short time and the text was simple, it became a very important plot under the rare appearance of Sister Ximen. Now the question rises, why does the ceremony of Brother Guan's name signing have to be arranged on the 9th day of the first lunar month? Did the author deliberately bring things and clues together to enhance the tension of the story? My answer: yes, and not only. Let's first take a look at the period before entering the 9th day of the first lunar month. First, Wu Taoist official from the Jade Emperor Temple brought gifts during the holidays. Simon King originally planned to be polite, but Wu Yunyang intervened and mentioned 3 things in succession. First, a monk. You should accept his gifts at the beginning and end of the year. You should also thank him. Second, the wedding wish you made for Sister Li to give birth to a child the day before yesterday. Just ask him to make it. Third, Sister Li said yesterday that this child is a little sick and he needs to ask for a nickname. You can also do it at his place. This is Li Ping'er's child. Li Ping'er is naturally very concerned about it, and she also intentionally performs rituals to pray for blessings and peace of mind. As for Wu Yunyang, she is the child's aunt, and it is normal to be concerned. As for Simon King, who everyone knows how important this child is to him. Therefore, Wu Yunyang's series of intense persecutions. If you don't get married, you will wish for him who has not yet repented. If you don't send a surname, you will be a little sick. Really makes Simon King very nervous. He even forgot that the 9th day of the first lunar month was Pan Jinlian's birthday, when he made an appointment with the Taoist priest at the Jade Emperor Temple. Why do you have to spoil Pan Jinlian's birthday? This is her birthday once a year. It is the default custom among wives and concubines that Simon King will enter the room of whose birthday it is. Refer to the 21st chapter on Mengulu's birthday. In order to sign the wedding ceremony, Simon King did not enter Pan Jinlian's room. I haven't even returned home. Is it tolerable or not? Since the 3.0 version of the Battle for Favor map, Li Ping'er's favor has been increasing day by day, from hiding pots to quarreling in the back court. From the 35th chapter when the boys picked up Li Ping'er with 2 lanterns and a lantern to pick up his wives and concubines to the 38th chapter. Back when Pan Jinlian played the pipa on a snowy night, Pan Jinlian's jealousy became more and more intense. Even birthdays have to be stepped over, which is really stepping into the mud. It was Pan Jinlian's jealousy this time that triggered the next story of favor and market love. But the author wants to tell you, the initiator of this incident was Wu Yunyang. The main line of the 3.0 version of the battle for favor is that Pan Jinlian attacks, leaping or defends. Wu Yunyang and Meng Yulu stir up trouble in the open and provoke each other in secret, but each has his own agenda. This time, the author deliberately moved Wu Yunyang's proposal for a wedding ceremony in December of the previous year to Pan Jinlian's birthday in the first month of the following year. This is a vivid explanation of the battle for favor. Readers will naturally understand that the war for favor in version 3.0 it's starting to heat up. 2. Send your name during the ritual ceremony. Wu Yunyang's proposal for a marriage ceremony was not out of thin air. The origin of the matter came from Wu Daoguan of the Jade Emperor Temple. Ever since Simon Kinger married 10 brothers, the Jade Emperor Temple has rarely appeared. Because after Simon King gave birth to a son and became an official, he was not interested in paying attention to those brainless fair-weather friends, and naturally no longer paid attention to the Taoist priests in the Jade Emperor Temple. In order to preserve the Taoist temple's business, Taoist Wu would not be so stupid as by Bengwing to just eat and drink. After all, Taoist temples have their own professional expertise. The clever head of the Jade Emperor Temple, Wu Daoguan, chose a good day at the end of the year to send gifts to remind Lord Simon of his existence. But gifts were not many, just some printed materials, lucky charms, and peace charms. However, the small investment quickly paid off. Huge rewards: 1 stone of white rice, 1 load of jinjiang, 10 kilograms of official candles, 5 kilograms of sandalwood horse tooth incense, 16 raw eye cloths for lining, a pair of Beijing satin, 2 jars of southern wine for fresh geese, for fresh chickens, a pair of pig's feet, a foot of mutton, and 10 taels of silver. Simon King's requirements are not high, just a small ritual ceremony. The priests are nothing more than some little tricks that don't work hard. But such a rich gift is something that an honest man like Director Fu can't save, even if he works hard for a year without eating or drinking. Unexpectedly, Taoist Wu probably couldn't hold back his laughter when he saw such a gift. Of course, this is not the theme of this chapter, let alone the whole book. But doesn't this kind of plot still exist in today's society? There are still many capable people and strangers who show feng shui to dignitaries and bosses. Isn't it a lot? The connotations expressed by small details are actually equally profound. The text is followed by a description of the scenery of the Taoist temple, as well as some proclamations and rituals for sending names for marriage ceremonies, etc., which are not very interesting, lengthy, and very uninteresting. For professional folklore scholars, they can learn about the religious culture of the Ming Dynasty. For example, many emperors of the Ming Dynasty advocated Taoism and favored Taoist priests. So even the plum and the golden lotus describe many large-scale and lively Taoist rituals. However, for ordinary people, readers, if you are not interested, you can just skip it. In fact, this kind of situation is very common in ancient novels, including European and American novels. Before the 20th century, it does not mean that the writer is interested in describing reality, or that the novel has the mission of recording society, but because there were not so many high-tech technologies in the past. Due to transportation and imaging technology, readers can only rely on text descriptions to read and imagine those unseen alien spaces. For modern readers, these long descriptions in the text are only a few seconds in the movie, so we should focus on the story itself. Under Wu Daoguan's very professional Taoist ceremony, the ceremony was completed. If it's just a formality, the boss probably won't be satisfied either. You have to create some essence anyway. A green satin gauze gold Taoist bun, a black gauze silk Taoist robe, a green cloud satin shirt, a pair of white silk socks, a pair of Kinglu silk short-faced shoes, a yellow velvet sash, and there is a yellow clue under the throne of the 3 treasures. A purple clue in front of the descendant, Empress, a pair of silver necklaces with the inscription full of gold and jade, long life and wealth, and a yellow silk talisman inscribed with Tai Yi Siming, Tao. Yan Heikang's 8 characters. The sutra bundle is wrapped with red paper sutras. It's very complicated. To put it simply, it is a set of Taoist priests' clothes, some silverware and scriptures that symbolize blessing and peace. We can understand these things as soon as they are mentioned. It has been seen by everyone throughout the ages. Even Jia Baoyu also wore a lifeblood. The key is that these things made Simon King happy. Before he went home, the things were sent home on flying horses. There were many guests at home. It was Pan Jinlian's birthday after all. Seeing all these new gadgets, the woman couldn't restrain her joy in making noises, and started talking to each other. The first subject of booing was Brother Guan's Taoist priest clothes. First, Meng Yulu joked humorously that the Taoist priest must have a wife. Otherwise, why would the sewing on this dress be so good? Then Pan Jinlian slyly teased, Taoist priests have wives. Then nuns must also have husbands? Because Wu Yunyang invited 2 nuns to give sermons, Pan Jinlian made fun of the nuns on the spot. What's entertaining is that Aunt Wang said this to a Taoist family. Put your hat on and don't go there. Like me, a monk can recognize you by his actions. She did not directly answer whether there was one, but only answered how yes and how no. In other words, Aunt Wang obviously agreed that Taoist priests have wives. And the reason why their nuns do not have husbands is not because they are Buddhists and Taoists, but mainly because they are not good. Dress up to cover up and be easily recognized. From the words and deeds of the former Yi and the latter Yini, we can probably see some sinister intentions of the author of Jin Ping Mei. Although the author finally inquires about the meaning of life in the form of religion, he is actually not sure, especially about the meaning of life. The specific image of religious believers shows great distrust. At least he believes that most of them are just another disguise of secular desires, and the true religious spirit has nothing to do with them. The second subject of uproar was the names in the scriptures. Jingshu is a congratulation written by Wu Toguan for the Ximen family during the funeral ceremony. Originally it was, the official Ximen king was born on the 28th day of July in the year Bingyan, and his wife, Mrs. Wu, was born on the 15th day of August in the year Wakan. Then, Wu Daoguan asked Ximen King who he wanted to write about. Ximen King replied, you only need to add the Li family. Jian will be born on the 15th day of the first lunar month in the Xinhui year, and the male official brother will be born on the 23rd day of the 7th month, in the Bingshan year. That is, Li Ping'er and his son Guanzhi. Pan Jinlian rushed to read it first, but she was very depressed because it only said those who gave birth to children, and all the others were included in redundant names. This is obviously not worthy of scrutiny. On such a solemn occasion, there is no reason why the Ximen family should not write about the original wife. So Meng Yulu began to play her role of flattery and provocation. Do you have a big sister? Meng Yulu foresees 2 possibilities if Wu Yunyang's name is on it. Then Pan Jinlian should also be jealous of Wu Yunyang. This is a reminder to Pan Jinlian. Don't just stare at the one who gives birth. If there is no Wu Yunyang as Pan Jinlian said, then Wu Yunyang will definitely be angry. Let's deal with Li Ping'er together. What fun! Pan Jinlian was helpless. On the one hand, she had not yet considered Wu Yunyang as her opponent, but on the other hand, she could not escape the fact. She had to go around and say, it would be funny without a big sister. Regarding Meng Yulu's issue, Wu Yunyang was very worried. If she really didn't have her name, it meant that Ximen King might replace her as his wife at any time. It's a good day and a good thing. So why make it unpleasant for everyone? She quickly acted cheaply. That's all. If you have one, it's just average. Why don't you have a group of people in your family who also write on it? Wouldn't it make the Taoists laugh? The seemingly embarrassing situation was temporarily resolved, but readers should keep this in mind. After Li Ping'er dies in the future, there will still be a long debate about the name on the memorial. From these details, we can see that Li Ping'er has an increasingly important position in Ximen King's heart, and all the wives and concubines are well aware of this. The third subject of booing was Brother Guan wearing Taoist robes. The greatest pleasure for women is to try on clothes. Even if they are watching others try on clothes, they will never tire of it. When the little Taoist clothes were delivered, Wu Yunyang suggested that the child try them on for a look, but Brother Guan had just fallen asleep. So, what should he do? We still have to rely on Pan Jinlian. It doesn't matter. Just rub him to wake him up. Li Pinger, a pig-like mother, really went there. No one else really objected. The child was brought in and Meng Yulu put clothes on for him. Look, every woman is very enthusiastic, Meng Yulu said, wearing these clothes. He is just a little Taoist priest. But Pan Jinlian said, what a little Taoist? You look like a little Taiyi. What does little Taiyi mean? There are different opinions throughout the ages, such as Shao Taiyi I, Tao, the indescribable Tao, Shao Taiyi, etc. However, no matter what it is, it must be a comparison that everyone can understand and is too vicious. Regarding this, Wu Yunyang immediately became angry. Sixth sister, what are you talking about? In front of the children, you are almost dying. Pan Jinlian seemed to feel that she had gone too far. I stopped talking. The fourth topic of booing was Simon King's refusal to go home and the title of Uncle Hua. Because Simon was going to have a wedding ceremony on the 9th day of the Lunar New Year, he fasted as usual on the 8th day of the Lunar New Year and did not use meat or wine. So he did not drink birthday wine with Pan Jinlian and Jin Ping Mei. There is a birthday wine the night before the second birthday. Simon King did not come back until the evening on the 9th day of the Lunar New Year. Pan Jinlian ran to the gate and looked around again and again, looking through the autumn water. But only when Chen Jingji came back and said, Dad, I'm afraid I won't make it. Pan Jinlian was furious and ran back to the room to vent her anger to Wu Yunyang. But Wu Yunyang pretended that nothing was wrong. As long as he doesn't come, we will be at ease every night. And listen to Master and Master Wang talking about cause and effect and singing Buddhist songs. Wu Yunyang knew clearly that it was Pan Jinlian's birthday, so how could she not understand her anger? In a word, she was just waiting for her to get angry. Pan Jinlian was indeed angry. It was her birthday, but her men went to do something that was so important to her for 2 days in a row, with Chen Jingji kowtowing to her as her son-in-law, with Wu Yunyang asking Chen Jingji who participated in the ritual ceremony, and with Chen Jingji repeatedly mentioning Uncle Hua. Pan Jinlian was filled with jealousy. Brother-in-law Chen, you also call him Uncle Hua. It's just a close relationship. Only the dead know about it. You call him Uncle Li. There is nothing wrong with this. Uncle Hua is a well-known joke, but the fun here lies in the word you. Why can others call it Uncle Hua but not Chen Jingji? This is because in Pan Jinlian's heart, this brother-in-law Chen and this enemy have long been one of our own. Sister Ximen on the side couldn't bear to see this, so she interrupted and scolded Chen Jingji, telling him to get out quickly after kowtowing. It's hard to say whether Sister Ximen's IQ can detect the smell of you too, but from the Uncle Hua and Uncle Li in this public place, she should also be able to smell the flames of war. 3. Nuns preaching. Next is a story from a Buddhist scripture. Most of it has been deleted in the embroidered version for the sake of simplicity, leaving only the theme explanation of the story. Readers who are interested in the story can check out the complete preserved version of the story. This is a prophecy of giving birth to a child, and it is also a prophecy of cultivating oneself and becoming a Buddha. Yuan Wei, who had 8 wives and more luxurious wives than Simon King, actually gave up his family business and chose to become a monk and practice Buddhism. As a result, he became the 5th patriarch and finally achieved enlightenment. Obviously, this is a foreshadowing of the ending of the book Jin Ping Mei. The 5th ancestor who finally became a Buddha represents Shaoj, who finally became a monk. However, Wu Yunyang, who only wanted to give birth to a child, had no time to take care of so many things. All she hoped for was to use the power of gods and Buddhas to get pregnant and give birth to a child. So she planned this dream with great interest until the 4th watch of the night, and even took the king with her. The girl asked about the final ending of the story, when the female relatives had no intention of caring about the legend of the last Buddha's child, and fell asleep one after another, in an orderly manner, leaving Wu Yunyang alone. We couldn't help but suspect that this was also a distant foreshadowing of the final ending. Many critics have always believed that Wu Yunyang is sincerely fond of Buddha. However, from the night when she burned incense in chapter 21, we have suspected that Wu Yunyang's good faith is just driven by interests. Even at the end of this chapter, she said, Yunayang listened. I believe in Buddhism more and more. I still think Wu Yunyang is just showing off. All her interest and investment in them are based on profit, and at most she is subjectively confused by them.
Alright, This part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.